YouTubers, welcome to episode number 13. So I am down at Digger Lakes for this session. Again, just started the winter ticket, so from now until sort of like March, this is where I'm going to be fishing. Okay, so it's now a Wednesday. I've just finished work, just got all the kit out of the car, and getting myself sorted and just about to get the rods out. Did have a walk around the lake when I got here. Didn't really see too much in the way of activity, and I had my mind set on sort of like free swims for this session, because I'm doing quite a long session, so I'll see how the session goes as we go along. But for this one, I'm at the start of it anyway. At the moment I'm in swim 1, which is right at the main gate when you walk into the complex. Was going to look at Brick Point, but there's already someone in it, and Big Junction's are the same as well, as someone already in it. So they're like the two sort of main swims really. If you're doing longer sessions here, a lot of people go for those swims. So I've gone for the third option, which is swim 1, which a lot of people seem to like as well. So that's where I am. Got a bit of a different approach for this one as well. I've bought some freezer bait. Never bought freezer bait before, so I've given them a bit of an air dry. I managed to get a load of the mainline essential cell. Managed to get it for a good price, so I couldn't really turn it down. So bought probably about 6 or 7 kilos of it. So not with me, I haven't got 6 or 7 kilos with me. I've only got 3 kilos with me because it's so cold. But that's what I'm going to be using anyways, the essential cell. So I've got the pop-ups and the wafters to go with it as well. So hopefully we'll see what the difference is between shelf life and freezer bait, if any. So that's what we've got for that one. And then I've got the Nash candy nut. Oh, sorry, the Nash coconut cream and the what's it called? Can't remember what it's called. Tangerine Dream, that's what I've got. So yeah, so anyway, waffling on. I'll get my rods out and whatnot, and I'll show you where everything's set up in a bit. Right then, so this is the swim. This is swim number 1. So as you walk into the complex, you walk over a bridge, and this is the first swim you come to. Decided on this swim because It's a little bit deeper. It goes down to about 5 or 6 foot in places here. So I thought, well, because the weather's so cold, or has been cold, the water temperature's really low. I thought they may well be holding up in the, underneath the trees and in the deeper water. So this channel here runs round into Tyler's Bay. It's quite a well-known spot for fish to sort of like come in and out of. Straight over there you've got another channel that leads into Small Junction and then Big Junction, so you do get quite a lot of traffic through here. And then round to the right we've got swims 2, 3 and 4 up in those corners, and that just runs round into swim 4, which goes into Brick Point. So it is a bit of a maze here. Right, so I'll show you where the rods are. The right hand rod is just on the corner of this sort of island here, and that's got the bit of pellet, candy nut crush. No, not candy nut crush. It's got a bit of pellet in it, coconut creams and the tutti fruities, just a mix of everything really, and that's on a little wafter with a yellow tipper. I'll show you all this later on anyway when I'm a bit more sorted. So moving round onto my middle rod, that is just down the channel here, just towards the sort of like tree line. That has got the main line, the central cell that I'm using, the freezer one that I was talking about. So that's where that is. That's out at 6 wraps. That's the only rod that's wrapped up because everything else is an underarm flick really. And then moving round to the left hand rod, that one is just on a again a pop up again, just a match for hatch sort of bait, and again I'm using the main line essential cell, and then I've got the little couple of 15 millers and the 10s as well, which I've just sort of scattered around all over the place over there. But the actual rod is fishing probably just off the end of that bush, probably about half a rod length off. And everyone, so finally everything is out and ready to go. It's taken quite a while to get set up, yeah, going to see how this one goes. So I'll talk you through the baiting strategy quickly. As I said, I'm using the essential cell on 2 rods today. I've got the little 10 mils and the 15 mils over in the corner, just mixed and matched. And then what I've done with the middle rod is just kind of like put out whole boilie and chops, just with a catapult, because everything's really close range anyway. So it's just sort of like 6 wraps. So quick catapult out of that, and then the other one is again, it's like an underarm flick. So again, just with a catapult, just a bit of pellet and the Nash instant action stuff. So yeah, never used a freezer bait before, so had the opportunity to buy some, so I thought, well, I'll give it a go and see if I can see a difference between that and the shelf life, because obviously a lot of people say, freezer baits are better, so we'll see if makes a difference to me in this session. But at the moment everything is out and ready to go. I've got the feeling it's going to be quite a hard session. Just had the bailiff come round, nothing's been out for a couple of weeks according to him. There's a couple of Irish guys here. I did a lap of the lake when I got here. They haven't had anything and they've been here since yesterday. So it's looking a little bit bleak, but I am here for sort of like 4 days, 5 days nearly. So I'm gonna give it my best stab really. I may have a move depending on whether or not things go to plan in here, but I do plan on staying in here for a couple of days, just to see if anything does happen, unless I see something to move to. But I need to have something to move to, otherwise it's just a pointless exercise. So I've put out probably about 100 boilies on each rod, which might seem extreme, you know, in these cold temperatures, but I'm fishing it for 2 days, so that's my plan. I don't plan on putting any more bait out than that, and hopefully that will encourage the fish when they swim up and down this channel, you know, and they'll see the bait maybe after a bit of time, or maybe instantly, you never know. We might have a run off of it. But yeah, so the left hand rod and the middle rod are both on the mainline cell pop-up. I've put pop-ups on because of the time of year, so there's a lot of chod out there, there's a lot of leaf debris and things like that. This place is full of trees and weed, so I've gone for the pop-up approach. The right hand rod with the Nash instant action stuff on it, I've gone for a little wafter because it's a little bit clearer there, there's not so many trees and whatnot. So 3 different approaches, and we'll just see what does best. Right now I'm going to get the rest of the bivvy sorted because the weather's turning a bit nasty now, starting to rain a little bit, so I'm going to get the rest of my kit sorted and see if I can make myself a little bit more comfortable before all hell breaks loose here. Hot dogs, get your hot dogs here. Well, not yet anyway. I am hungry. So while I've got a little bit of time on my hands at the moment, I thought I'd talk to you about the winter for a second, because a lot of people seem to give up sort of like fishing during the winter months. I carry on fishing all year round, so I just thought I'd go through some of the stuff. Like now the clock's gone back, the way that I approach things is a little bit different, so obviously I use a little bit less bait and things like that in my fishing, but the main thing that I find is to change your approach to stay comfortable and to keep fishing throughout the winter, is to basically change the kit around. So during the winter months, obviously I use the Fox Ultra Brolly, so this time of year the vapor shield goes back in. It just gives you a little bit more comfort. It's all about making yourself comfortable really, and being able to sit in an environment that you're quite happy with. So that's one of the things that I do. I bring extra bedding with me as well, change the sleeping bag, just beef everything up a little bit really, just to make your life a little bit more comfortable. Plenty of food with you, hot drinks, things like that. Also one of these bivvy heater. I just bought 25 cans of gas for it, so I'm all stocked up. You can get them for like, I mean, I paid 25 quid for 25 cans. It works out £1 a can, so if you buy it in bulk it's a lot cheaper. So yeah, I just thought I'd like talk about that a little bit, because I think that's something that like some people struggle with, is being able to deal with the weather and things like that. But if you can make yourself comfortable, then you'll want to stay in the environment that you're in. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you that really, and just show you a little bit of what I do during the winter months. So that's about it really. Just beef your sleeping bag up a little bit if you've got the kit to make yourself a little bit more comfortable. And one of these, one note with one of these though, is that if you are going to use one, I find that they're relatively good, but you must have the letterbox open on the door, because otherwise you run the risk of giving yourself carbon monoxide poisoning, and you won't know nothing about it. And don't go to sleep with it on either. That's another bad thing to do. So yeah, just do these little things to, you know, keep you a little bit more comfortable on the bank. Right, and guys, we're just approaching the hours of darkness now. Unfortunately it's only about 5 o'clock, but this time of the year obviously everything gets a bit darker with the clocks going back, so I'm going to leave this here for today. and then if anything happens during the night, I guess you'll see it. But until the morning, tight lines, and I'll see you then. Morning everyone. Right, as you probably can tell, no action at all last night, not even a single bleep. So yeah, not great. It's just coming on for about 8 o'clock now, something like that. Just had a bit of a reach up this morning, only really for the purpose to make sure everything was still fishing as it should be, which it was. You know, nothing was covered in bloody ducks, nothing covered in chod or anything like that, so I know everything's on the clear spots and everything's doing what it's supposed to be doing, which is ideal. The only adjustment that I've made is to my middle rod, and I've just changed the colour of the pop-up on it. Decided to put a pink out on there just to see whether or not that makes a difference. Sometimes changing the colour, making that odd little tweak can you know, change things around for you a little bit, but at the moment haven't even seen anything. Had a guy come round this morning, one of the Irish guys again, they hadn't had nothing either. So at the moment haven't managed to change the game here yet, but hopefully later on we'll be able to do something else. So we'll see how today goes, and we'll take it from there. It's due to be a dry day today. The pressure's quite low at the moment. I think it was 1008, something like that, so it's quite low pressure at the moment. Dry weather, a little bit of cloud cover, the wind is picking up a little bit, so you never know, it might change the game a little bit, but the water temperature is very, very cold, I know that much. I haven't taken a temperature reading yet, but I will do later on. I tested a rig earlier in the margin and it's absolutely stone cold, so doesn't really seem to be a lot moving around at the moment. But anyway, I'm going to put the kettle on, and I'll catch you guys in a bit if anything happens. Hello. So it's about 4 o'clock now. Been a bit of a quiet day really. Haven't really seen too much in the way of fish. I did see one cruising about earlier though, so they are kind of like moving around a little bit, but it doesn't look like there's much on in the way of feeding activity. Everything's been out there as it was this morning, so I'm going to have a bit of a reach up tonight, and I think I'm going to keep persevering in here. Haven't heard of anything coming out. I've looked around all day, just nipped into the swim next door as well, just to see if I could see anything moving around, and other than the one that I saw a little bit earlier, haven't really seen a lot. So what I'll do while I've got the time is I'll show you the little rigs that I'm using. Really, it's really simple, nothing too complicated. Hang on, get that hook out. Right, so all I'm using is basically the helicopter system, as I normally do, if you see my previous videos, and then all I've got for my hook link is just a stiff boom. That's the quarter boom, and then you've got a little Fox pop-up weight. So I use those instead of putty and things like that, because I find it a lot more reliable. I found with putty sometimes it can fall off, so I use the Fox pop-up shot weights. Down onto that I've got a size 6 curve shank and a little 15mm pop-up, and that's the mainline essential cell. So that's pretty much it. That and a little stick. Just pull that stick down, and then all I do is just nick the top of that in there like that, so that when the bag dissolves, that comes out and sits like that, all nicely. Put the bag on really just for the anti-tangle purposes. The other rig that I'm using, so that's my two rods that are on pop-ups for the essential cell, and then my other rig, the wafter rig, is very simply straightforward again, length of fluorocarbon, just to give it that kick away from the lead, but I don't really need it at the moment because obviously I've got it on a stick. And then I've got a little dumbbell with a just a little bit of corn on the top just to tip it off, so it just sits up like that off the hook. And again, I've got a size 6, just a size 6 wide gape on there, and it's just a little German rig. So that's all it is really. Just with a swivel on there just to tie it off, and yeah, thought I'd show you those quickly before I put them out in the water again. So I'm pretty sure you would have seen them in my other videos anyway if you've seen those. If you haven't, go and have a look. So yeah, I'm going to give it another hour or so, and then I'll have a rechuck just for the night really, just to put some fresh hook baits out there and see if anything does happen. But at the moment, the carp are winning. Hello everyone, welcome to day number 2. Decided to not do any filming last night because nothing's really happening. It's just pointless talking about nothing. So we're on morning of day 2 now, so it's Friday. As you can probably hear by the tone of my voice, nothing has happened at all, and nothing's come out the lake at all anywhere. So yeah, fighting a bit of a losing battle at the moment. My plan for today is obviously, I don't know if you can see that on the floor there, but the landing net's all frozen, rods are all frozen. It was a really cold night last night. Woke up sort of like this morning and I was like, oh, it's a bit cold. And I poked my head out the bivvy and I was like, oh shit. So yeah, everything's really cold at the moment, so that might be a good reason why I haven't seen a lot moving around. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to recast this morning. I'm just going to leave everything out, and I'm going to get to about midday, and then I'm going to go for a lap of the lake again and just see if I can find any fish, just see if I can see any activity or movement anywhere, unless I see something in here beforehand. But for me to move, I really need to be seeing some stuff to move to. So, but I'll whip them out for an hour and go for a lap around and see what happens. Right now, I'm going to make a cup of coffee, sit down, chill out, and put the bivvy heater back on. Hello. So, it's about 9 o'clock now. Got a bit of itchy feet this morning, so decided to reel in and go for a walk around. Absolutely nothing still come out. There's a few more people here as well. So I had a walk around. I couldn't really see a lot going on. Nothing's come out at that end of the lake anyway, so I think I'm gonna end up just staying in here by the looks of it, because I think one of the guys said there are a few more people turning up on the booking system today as well. So no real point in me moving if I can't really see anything that's giving me the incentive to move. So I'm gonna stay here. Was gonna go for a shower, but the showers are frozen, so I have to wait for a minute. Obviously it was a really cold night last night, so frost everywhere. I woke up to a bloody winter wonderland. But I've seen a few fish moving about this morning, so I've got a guy in peg next to me in peg 2 now, so he said he's seen a couple moving around this morning, so we'll see what happens. I've made a change to 2 of my rods now as well. I've just put solid bags on, so the middle rod is still on the helicopter system with the Ronnie rig pop up. I've left that one as it is, and that's the middle rod fishing at 6 wraps towards the trees. And the other 2, I've just replaced the helicopter system with the solid bag. So all I've done is just crumbled up some essential cell, some of the 10 millers, and just stuck a pop-up in there, just to see if that makes any difference. It might make a change. You know, you don't know unless you try. So So that's what I've done. Like I say, there are a few fish milling around, so fingers crossed, you never know. So yeah, I'm gonna have a cup of tea then, and wait for the weather to change, get a bit warmer, and hopefully have a shower later. So it's now 4 o'clock, and guess what? Another uneventful day, which has been absolutely dire. There was a guy on a day session next door to me. He didn't have nothing. No one's had anything. Nothing's come out. But the weather is set to improve within the next 48 hours. So gonna get a bit warmer. This morning, as you saw, was like a complete frost. So yeah, I'm a little bit out of breath. And that's because I've been using this little contraption behind me. See this? This is a new piece of kit. Nice, isn't it? Baiting pole. So 18-meter baiting pole down there. So what I did earlier on, I'll show you. Changing the baiting strategy around. Pellet, big box of pellet. So a scoop of that into the scoop for the pole. A few of the 10mm essential cells, PVA, solid PVA bag, and the pop-up. And I have put that behind me against that reed bed, mainly because I've seen activity there today. So I've noticed that they seem to patrol this island. So what I've done is I've just put like a baiting pole out there as close as I can get it, boom, straight down there. So I'm gonna leave that now, probably for the next 24 hours, I reckon. The middle rod is still fishing out where it was, which is out towards these trees, that way. So you see the gap in the tree there? It's out towards there. That's still on the helicopter system with the stiff boom. I've left that one as it is. The left hand rod is out over here still in the gap, out towards that tree, just on the corner of it, and that's gone out with the baiting pole as well. So yeah, again, pellet, few 12 millers, and the solid bag. So unfortunately nothing's happened whatsoever. Seen a couple of fish, but nothing seems to be feeding at the moment, which has kind of been the case here for a while. But the guys in Brick Point did say that they'd seen like clouding and stuff like that, so they were chucking bags at them this morning, but they couldn't get a take. So it must be on the naturals. That's all I can think of anyway. Right, I'm gonna go and sort my gear out again, because it's all a bit of a conundrum here, because I went back to the van to go and get the gear, the pellet and things like that. So I'm just going to sit on this now, and I'm just going to wait. I'm going to give that 24 hours in those spots, and I'm literally just going to leave them there and see if I can produce a bite that way. I'm hoping that, you know, that will induce something at least, because this is ridiculous. But this place is difficult anyway, so but for no one to have any fish anywhere it's soul destroying. Never mind. Right, catch you later.
Hello everyone. So it is about 6:30 in the morning. No action at all last night, and today is the Saturday. So I am up at first light this morning, just to watch the water, see what's going on, and try and build up a bit of a picture, because at the moment I'm a bit miffed. So I did have a beep last night. One beep, so Something obviously came through here last night, not too sure, but yeah. Anyway, looks darker than what it is on the camera. It's actually quite light, but just due to the camera, I guess it's not really picking it up that much. But anyway, I'm gonna make a cup of tea now and wake up, watch the water, and see if I can see what's going on. So yeah, catch you later.
Good afternoon, YouTubanoids. So, guess what? Still haven't caught nothing. It's got that bad that even one of the bailiffs has gone home early because he's like, no, it's not happening. Brilliant. So, just got to the 24-hour mark as I discussed yesterday. Still nothing. So, reeled in, checked everything. Exactly the same as I put it out there. So, yeah. Maybe staying in here was a mistake, but I've seen other guys that have been fishing here move around and they've had nothing, so I don't think it would have made any real difference anyway. So yes, tough one. Probably the longest blank that I've ever had. So yeah, it's not looking good. The weather's changed dramatically now. It's really cloudy, really windy, set to rain tomorrow. Bit of low pressure, maybe might make a difference. Been saying this for a while now, but it hasn't. So yeah, I'm just going to sort of sit it out now. Just come back from Tesco's, got more food supplies because I'm going to stay. I was thinking about going home, but I was like, nope, I booked this and I'm staying. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to sit it out. So, you know, make the most of the time. Even though I am blanking, I do still enjoy myself being here and, you know, putting the telly on and just chilling out. So yeah, I'm going to stay. I'm going to ride it out, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I manage to nick one. But I'll be honest with you, it's not looking that great. So yeah, that's where we are. I've just put out the rods again, same as what I did before with the baiting pole, bit of pellet in there, and just put it back out on the spots. So I'll leave it there, and hopefully I can nick one. The only real change that I have made is to my hook baits. I decided to go with a pink pop-up on the left rod and a white on the right rod, just to see if that'll make a difference. It didn't earlier in the week, but you know, I'm really clutching at straws now, so yeah, try that. But if not, then I'm just going to leave the rods out now until I go home. That's going to be it. Another 24 hours, just, you know, just leave them there, and that's all I can do. So that's it. Right guys, I'll catch you later. Good morning everyone. It's now the Sunday. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. I just thought there's not really a lot of point in filming anything when there's nothing happening. So as you can probably tell by the tone of my voice, again, nothing's happened. Had a walk round. There's 6 other guys here. They've been here all weekend, had nothing either. So it looks like I've hit the lake at a period where it's just completely switched off, unfortunately. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to give this till like midday, and then I'm going to sort of like knock it on the head, I reckon. Start packing down, because there's really no point in being here anymore, I don't think. Been here for 4 days. 4-day blank. Worst session ever. But it is what it is. So this place is tricky as it is, and to be fair, the weather has been quite cold. So I suspect that hasn't helped, because the water temperature's dropped dramatically in the last sort of like 2 weeks. So maybe that's got something to do with it. I'm not too sure, but that's my theory on it anyway. So I'll leave this one here. My next session will be here again. Not too sure when I'll do another blog, but in the meantime, if I do catch any fish in between, then I will post them up on my next blog so you can see them and whatnot. But yeah, until then guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm really sorry it was a blank one, but it's not really a lot I can do if they're not on the feed. So until the next one, thank you very much for watching, and tight lines.